The premier endurance sports car racing championship in North America features the bravest drivers and the most famous automotive brands, tackling the continent's toughest races. This week on IMSA The Road to Racing, it's the final race of the 2019 season. The 22nd running of the Motul Petit Le Mans brings the season to a close at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. Drivers and teams in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge are on track for their season finale as well in the Fox Factory 120. So, fasten your seatbelts because it's time to go sports car racing. Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta, located just 50 miles from downtown Atlanta, Georgia, is a gem of a racetrack. And the Motul Petit Le Mans is a gem of sports car racing. A season's worth of racing action comes down to just 10 hours of racing at one of the drivers' and fans' favorite tracks in the whole country. Located in Braselton, Georgia, Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta began life in 1969 and has been the unofficial home to IMSA sports car racing for years. The track may be tucked away in the quiet Georgia pine trees, but there is nothing calm about this racetrack. At just over 2.5 miles, the 12 corners wedged in around the racetrack test drivers' skill and bravery lap after lap. Throw in the long hours of an endurance race, which turn into the dark of night, and the pressures of winning one of the sport's most iconic races, and Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta is the perfect place to bring the 2019 season to a close. With the final race of the 2019 IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship finally here, a full field made up of all 4 IMSA classes will populate Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Spread out across DPI, GT Le Mans, LMP2, and GT Daytona, the 34-car field will do battle amongst and against each other for 10 hours. Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta is located in Braselton, Georgia, and is a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, the home to Porsche Cars North America. This year, the 2 Porsche entries vying for the championship title in the GT Le Mans category will contest the season finale in Georgia with a special throwback paint scheme featuring Atlanta-based Coca-Cola on their cars. And in a bittersweet twist, it will be the final race for the current version of those Porsche 911 RSRs before an updated model debuts next season in WeatherTech sports car competition. The magical and ultra-successful history of Corvette racing in IMSA competition is set to take a new turn in 2020, with the introduction of the mid-engine Corvette C8R for the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. First, though, comes the farewell race for the vaunted front-engine C7R this weekend at Motul Petit Le Mans. The C7R won 16 WeatherTech Sports Car Championship races since 2014, including back-to-back Rolex 24 at Daytona victories in 2015 and 16, and an emotional class triumph at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2015. The latest chapter in the history of Ford racing, a gripping, true story of triumph more than a century in the making, will be completed at the Motul Petit Le Mans on October 12th. That's when the iconic and inspiring Ford GT will make its final appearance as a factory-backed entrant in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. The current iteration of the Ford GT has left its imprint in this 4-year run. Combining the efforts in IMSA and WEC, the car has compiled 19 race wins, 22 pole positions, and driven nearly 280,000 miles, equivalent to almost 11 trips around the world. Mazda is coming back to the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge in 2020. The manufacturer has 36 Michelin Pilot Challenge class victories, but has not competed in the series since the race at Lime Rock Park in 2018. That's all about to change dramatically, as the new Mazda 3 TCR race car was publicly unveiled prior to the season finale at Mazda US headquarters in Irvine, California. The car is homologated to compete in any of the 36 TCR sanctioned championships around the world, including the Michelin Pilot Challenge TCR class. Officials from IMSA, Michelin, and Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta dedicated the track's most visible improvement with Friday's ribbon-cutting ceremony outside the sparkling new Michelin Tower that hovers above the front stretch of the historic circuit outside of Atlanta. The Michelin Tower further cements the relationship between the 50-year-old racetrack and the tire maker. President and General Manager of Michelin Raceway, as well as the Chairman and President of Michelin North America, participated in the ribbon-cutting ceremony as a host of executives looked on. IMSA WeatherTech sports car racing is unlike any other racing in the world. The multi-class endurance sports car championship features some of the best drivers in the world competing inside some of the greatest race cars ever built. From Daytona Beach in January to Atlanta, Georgia in September, drivers, teams, and their families crisscross North America in pursuit of race podiums, wins, and a championship title. Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta and the Motul Petit Le Mans race are not just a pillar that holds up the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, but they are a glowing testament to what IMSA sports car racing is and continues to be. IMSA racing is as exciting as it gets for these drivers and teams, and the finale at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta often is the most breathtaking race of the year. DPI racer and former series champion Jordan Taylor tells us exactly what can happen after 10 hours of racing in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, starting off last year here at Petit Le Mans was a crazy finish. We ran well the whole weekend. I think we were running in the top three most of the race, and then coming into the last hour, it came into a fuel strategy race, and we were basically pushing Ranger to save fuel for the whole last stint. We were the last one to do our last stop, so we had an extra lap on everyone so we could push a little bit harder, but it literally came down to the last lap, last corner, where the 5 car ran out of fuel, and Ranger was able to make a last corner pass for the win. So after 10 hours of racing, it's crazy that it came down to that, but that's just IMSA racing for you, and it's awesome to win Petit Le Mans in that fashion. It was our second win here as a team, which was pretty cool. My dad won the inaugural one, so he's got 3. But yeah, I've been with Wayne Taylor Racing now for 7 years. We've had a lot of success together. We've won 2 Rolex 24s. We won the Sebring 12-hour, 2 Petit Le Mans, 2 championships. So it's been a great run so far, especially when we had Ricky with the team. He was with us for 3 or 4 years when we won the championship in 2017, and started that year with five wins right off the start with Daytona and Sebring. So I've said it before, but I think that year 2017, coming out with the Cadillac, being with my brother and my dad's team, I don't think I'll ever be able to top that year in my career. Just having so much success together as a family and as a privateer team, basically taking it to the manufacturers and doing so well. So it was a special year, and it's one that we'll never forget. Three keys for Petit Le Mans. I think the biggest thing is staying out of trouble. It's 10 hours. You have to be there at the end. It's a very intense track, high speed, high commitment, narrow in some places. And in prototypes, you get stuck behind a GT car and you want to get by them. So you have to have a bit of patience. I think number 2 is having a good team around you, good strategy, good pit stops. It's 10 hours, you have a bunch of pit stops. And then the third thing is having a fast race car at the end of the race. So you might be fast for 8 hours, but you need to make sure you have a good, strong car at the end.
I'm Oliver Jarvis, race car driver of the number 77 Mazda DPI, and I'm going to take you for a lap around Road Atlanta. Across the start line, look into the left-hand side, brake, turn in, roll the speed through, careful on the exit because there's a bump, car can snap, back over to the right, blind over the crest, brake, off the brakes quickly across the curb on the right-hand side, careful on the exit, you see a little snap there on the power, car back to the left, quick through the S's, right, left, looking for the curb on the right, dab on the brakes, down the gear, turn in, clip the curb, run out wide, careful not to run out too far, very bumpy on the exit, can cost you time as the rear wheels lift up. Looking for the second white line, brake down the gear, turn in, little bit of understeer, run right out wide on the exit, brake. Again, down through the gears, get the front in, quickly on the power to maximise the exit, run out, all the way on the exit curve. Ford GT ahead, we're going to use all the slipstream coming down the straight. And at this point, you're trying to figure out, am I catching enough to get him in the braking zone? As you can see, just catching him now. Going to pull out to the left. Now there's two white lines, you're looking for the second white line. Brake hard, down through the gears, get the front turned in over the left-hand curb. Turning right, back on the power, new tarmac here, extra grip. Over the curb and the exit. Now we're going to go over the rise. You see the revs light up as the rear wheel come off the ground. Now last corner, flat out and across the line.
Balance of performance is adjusted week in and week out in IMSA competition. Here is Senior Director of Technical Regulations and Compliance, Jeffrey Carter, to educate us on the changes heading into Road Atlanta.
Last time we were together, smaller, shorter, high downforce track in Laguna Seca. This track, longer, much more flowing, high-speed circuit. In GTLM, we've taken 4 kilowatts out of the BMW. Last year at this time, we had a unique circumstance with the Risi Ferrari. They came and did Daytona, haven't been with us for the whole season. So how do we pick the BOP for their last race after the other cars have been migrating throughout the season? The IMSA Technical Committee had applied a lot of math and a lot of data and have come up with a BOP for that car where we've taken 5 kilograms off from Daytona and given it 15 kilowatts of boost. Quite a significant change. What that tells us is, as the season has progressed, the class has migrated towards more performance, not less. Seems like every week we talk about a little bit up, a little bit down. In general, in DPI, we've gone up in performance just a little bit as the season has progressed. In GTLM, we haven't changed it much. We've gone up a little here, down a little there. In general, that class is about where it started. In GTD, we had 4 brand new cars this year, trying to find our way throughout the year. We've gone up and down, so in general, maybe a little bit forward as the year goes on. The IMSA Technical Committee is strongly considering classifying the tracks by configuration, so perhaps having 3 different sectors, 3 different kinds of tracks with 3 different BOPs. That way we don't go up and down from track to track. More to come as the off-season comes. Enjoy the race this weekend.
And there you see it, Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. The green flag flies in the air, and we are off and racing for the final time in 2019, 10 hours on the clock, as the day will transition from light to dark, testing the drivers and teams in DPI, LMP2, GT Le Mans, and GT Daytona. Opening lap underway here as the field snakes around the long and beautiful Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. There you see the entire field of IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship cars making their way around the track. 10 hours of racing, 1 lap in here in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll check in and see the action as the DPI field and the LMP2 cars start to put some distance between themselves and the GT cars. They make their way down the back straightaway now, getting ready to complete the opening lap. Here's a scary incident here as one of the LMP2 cars and one of the Acura Team Penske machines makes heavy contact. That's the number 7 from Acura Team Penske with significant right front damage. A little bit later on, pretty scary impact here for one of the cars in GT Daytona, the number 12 Lexus from AIM Vassar Sullivan. Later on, trouble in the garage area for one of the Mazda RT24Ps. There's your championship leading car in GT Daytona, the number 86 Acura NSX GT3 from Meyershank Racing, with the rear engine cowling up and off of that car. Lots of smoke pouring from the exhaust pipes as the crew pours over it to see what exactly the problem is. A little bit later on in the race here, we check in with the class leader in DPI, Simon Pagenaud. In the Acura Team Penske, number 6, Dalton Kellett leads the way in LMP2. Now, daylight has turned to dark. Jan Magnussen piloting his way in that Chevy Corvette C7R for the final time in IMSA competition. The lights shining bright with just over 2 hours remaining. He leads the way in GT Le Mans with Richard Westbrook in the number 67 Ford GT right behind him. Action on pit lane here as the Acura Team Penske crew goes to work on belting in one of its drivers. Meanwhile, 4 fresh Michelin tires going on. They clean the front grille. VP fuel, and that car is down and away. That looked like the number 7 of the Ricky Taylor entry in Acura Team Penske. Joao Barbosa up and out. of the Mustang sampling Cadillac sitting on top of the pit box, this being his final race in full-time IMSA sports car competition. He is done as he climbs out of that car, letting his teammates carry on to the finish. White flag now in the air. Pit Boderani in that number 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac DPI leads the way, but Jordan Taylor in the number 10 only a few seconds back. Here's the battle for first as Felipe Fraga in the Mercedes AMG trying to hold off series veteran Bill Oberlin, who's in search of his 60th victory in IMSA sports car competition. Less than one lap to go, and Oberlin is going to try to follow the leading one of the DPI cars through. He can't get the job done. They head up the hill, only a few corners left. Oberlin looking high, Oberlin looking low. He's going to try and crisscross the Mercedes as they will come down to see their white flag. One lap to go. The GT Le Mans Ferrari Risi Competizione trying to get around, but up front in DPI, there you see the Motul pole winning car, the number 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac comes down the hill, flies through the final corner, checkered flag in the air. 10 hours of racing is done, and the 22nd Motul Petit Le Mans goes to Whelen Engineering. Pit Boderani and that number 31 Cadillac score the victory overall. James Colato in that number 62 Risi Competizione Ferrari trying to hold on to the class victory in GT Le Mans. But what about GT Daytona? There you see it. Bill Oberlin in the BMW has gotten around Felipe Fraga. Oberlin leads them down the hill. Checkered flag in the air, and Oberlin is going to win, and he's going to score his 60th victory in IMSA competition. IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship standings. DPI class. LMP2 class. GT Le Mans. GT Daytona. IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge Racing has thrilled sports car racing fans all year long, running right alongside the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship at each event weekend. The drivers and teams of Grand Sport and TCR continue to put on exciting race week in and week out. With so much going on in the series that includes close championship fights and exciting races every time the cars hit the track, IMSA Senior Manager of Technical Regulations for the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge, Jeff Mishtawi, explains to us what goes into setting up the final competition of 2019.
Through the course of this season, we developed a documented and printed process for performance analysis. Literally, we wrote a book on BOP and on performance balancing in general. So after this race, we have a meeting with all of our manufacturer group, and we're going to take a look at that objectively together and evolve it for next year. So next year we're going to come into the season, in the 2020 season, with an evolution of our analysis process and how changes are implemented. And we also welcome some new competitors to the IMSA Michelin Pilot Paddock. Mazda, after several years away from competition in the Michelin Pilot Challenge or the series, former names of the same series, is coming back to our class with a car designed and built specifically to race here in the TCR class. So although the car is globally eligible, it's designed in America and built in America by an American company called Long Road Racing with Mazda's approval. We're looking forward to it. The car looks fantastic. It's an exciting piece just in general. We also have, where we had this year, the new Aston Martin on pole position today. We expect it to be back in greater numbers next year. A lot of development went into that car. Looking strong for the GS class. There are also some rumors from other manufacturers that may be here. We'll see how it plays out, but without a doubt, we're looking forward to a bright future in 2020 with the series.
Hi, my name's Tyler Cook. I drive the number 2 Audi R8 for Europarts this year, sponsored by Rovo Oil, A Natural Difference Skincare, and also Europarts himself. I'm talking to you today about my win at Road Atlanta in the BMW, the team I was with before at BIMWorld. what a special win that was for us. It was challenging. It was a hard year. We were always right there, but we never got that win. And to walk away with that win was awesome. BMW was beyond ecstatic. They're thrilled, and it was thrilling for the team because we didn't win a race since 2013. So it'd been a long time coming. Doing a lot of development with the F30 project, and then jumping into the M4, and working with that with BMW, and it was overall just an amazing experience. James drove a great first stint, and he got the car to the front, and he held it there. I think he got the 5th. And then I got in the car, and I was like a freight train. I was bumping everything. But with the new GT4 class, it's a lot of aggressive racing, a lot of hitting. Every single time the car came in, it had damage of some sort, because it's aggression. We're all racer drivers. We don't want to settle for second. We don't want to settle for third. We want to win it. When you're in the car, you're not here to make friends. You're here to do your job. You're here to perform. And just to walk away with that win was something special. Something special for the team, BMW, all the sponsors. Optima Battery, A Natural Difference Skincare, POC Brakes. It made everybody smile. And it's weird seeing the car on track. We're testing here today, and I'm right behind my old car, and it's like, hey, I remember being in that thing. But new season, new team, new co-driver, everything. So it's all new for me this year.
One final time in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge, we are set to go racing. 2 hours on the clock here in the season finale at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It's the Fox Factory 120 to decide the 2019 champions in both the GS Grand Sport and the TCR, the Touring Car Racing category, at the end of the 2019 season. Cars off and running here as the green flag has flown, and there you see a beautiful shot of that entire field snaking their way down through the S's. It's going to be the Aston Martin who scored the pole, the Motul pole at the beginning of qualifying, out in front of the GS category. Now we take a look on pit lane, as that looks to be one of our TCR Hyundai Velosters from Brian Herta Autosport in pit lane. And the number 37, the LA Honda World Honda, who dominated at the beginning of this season. That's Tom O'Gorman and Shelby Blackstock. Blackstock getting out of the car. It looks like that should be O'Gorman getting in behind the wheel. Green flag after the caution. The restart, you see the Team TGM Mercedes AMG holding off the Aston Martin down into that fast right-handed turn number 1 here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Behind them, cars still side by side, jockeying for position. Just 1 hour of racing left here in Atlanta, Georgia, and 1 hour of racing left in the 2019 IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge season. A little bit later on in the race, Ben Waddell in the Aston Martin leading the way across the start-finish line to see the green flag after a full course yellow. Just under 30 minutes to go, but watch out for that number 15 Ford Mustang of Austin Cindric, the NASCAR driver, coming over and doing a little bit of part-time endurance sports car racing. And there you see it, the battle for the lead. Cindric has caught up and taken over the top spot in that number 15. Here's a battle with another one of his Ford Mustang teammates in the number 22 as those guys sort themselves out with just a few minutes left to go. Big impact here, and that looks like one of the Mercedes AMGs, I believe, maybe car number 53, a massive impact coming down the hill. That driver, hoping we're going to find out he's okay, as you see one of the wheels coming off that car. And that was heading up the hill to the final corner. That driver is okay up and out of the car. Meanwhile, Austin Cindric in the number 15 coming across the start-finish line to see the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Can the NASCAR driver hold off against some of the best in the business in IMSA sports car racing? He's got Tom Long, one of the best to ever do it, right behind him in second. And then Jesse Lazaire in that Motorsports in Action McLaren running third. Meanwhile, Wilkins leads the TCR category. Britt Casey Jr. runs second. And James Vance in third. But nobody's got anything for the number 15 Motorcraft-sponsored Ford Mustang from Multimatic as Cindric brings them down the hill through the final corner. Checkered flag waves, and Cindric dusts him out as he scores the win in the Fox Factory 120 here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta in the GS category. And in the TCR, let's see how they finish as they make their way into the bus stop one final time. Wilkins leading it for Brian Herta Autosport with Curb Agajanian in that number 98 Hyundai Veloster as he makes his way down the hill. Britt Casey Jr. not close enough to make anything happen, and it's going to be Wilkins scoring the win in TCR here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brian Hurd Autosport victorious once again here in 2019. IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge point standings. GS class. The TCR class.
Motul Petit Le Mans. So special, so significant, you say, I just have to be there.
One of the cornerstones of endurance racing around the world. The sun is shining.
It is a colossal scene on the front straight. It's championship day.
The Team Penske Acura number 6 was pretty simple. Finish 8th or better, and they are the champions.
For the 912 today, they simply need to finish 7th.
The championship-winning GTD car, simply by starting today.
For the 52, they will clinch the Drivers' Championship merely by taking the green flag.
Drivers, start your engine!
3, 2, 1.
Getting ready for Motul Petit Le Mans. There's contact before they even get to the green.
Felipe Nasser jumps away. Ricky Taylor diving down the inside of turn 1.
Whoa, and off. That is the 54 Core Autosport prototype. It's John Bennett's final race as a team owner and a full-timer in IMSA competition.
This racetrack is narrow. It's easy to make a mistake. A grueling race on man and machine.
Felipe Nasser is flying. 4 different manufacturers in the top 4 positions in GT Le Mans. This is going down the hill. Whoa! Moving around.
Look who's involved, the 7 car. So Elio had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
But I tell you, who's had a brilliant start at this race is Richard Westbrook in that bright blue and orange livery for GT, the swan song for this 4-year GT program.
There's a lot of farewells here today. It's goodbye to the Corvette C7R. The mid-engine Corvette is coming on board next year.
Oh, hey, look at this full wide of GTD traffic.
You got an Audi, Lamborghini, a Porsche, and an Acura. Who's going to be the first one to get on the brakes?
Halfway.
Look at this, Collado has just put that number 4 Corvette a lap down.
Oh, look at that.
There's twice. Here's the pick, but he goes down the inside, locked up.
Oh boy, and Durrani clears him. Great work.
Wow.
Calculating Captain Same. On fuel economy we can here.
Look at that sky above Road Atlanta. Nighttime is here.
Plus 20. Keep working on fuel.
Have a look at this, the 5 and the 77 for the lead of the race.
Look at the brakes blowing.
And it is Ford versus Ferrari, and the Ferrari gets ahead of the Ford. Can Richard Westbrook respond on the inside? There's traffic ahead.
Towards the final hour of racing.
That was Bill Auberland running off track, climbing the hill, exiting turn 1. Fraga motocrosses it up and over the curb. However, he's 5 laps short and shy of the car that he just passed on fuel load. There is a big congratulatory hug for João Barbosa. That's his final stint in the 5. How can you not love sports car racing? At the end of 10 hours, you've got a Mercedes, a BMW, and an Audi blanketed by 1 second. The pace has been staggering. Another lockup from Albuquerque. He's gone. He's off. The race leader is off. Albuquerque goes from 1st to 3rd in 1 corner.
You got no brakes. Need a brake road, guys.
He has lost the win here in the final laps of the race 2 times in a row. That one off. Down at the bottom of the hill. That's the 912.
Come on, man. You okay? Wet your pump. White flag. 1 to go. Come on.
Wheeling Engineering Cadillac. Hippo Durrani.
Checkered flag is out.
You just won Petit Le Mans, my man. Whoa.
I gave people an early birthday present.
In LMP2, Matt McMurray. It's another Ferrari victory for Giuseppe Risi at Petit Le Mans.
33. Oh, he's got the 33.
Fraga's gone off track.
Fraga's out of fuel. He's out of fuel.
Bill Auberland is going to tie Scott Pruitt for 60 IMSA sports car wins and win the Motul Petit Le Mans in GT Daytona on his birthday. For Turner Motorsport and Bill Auberland will be one to remember forever.
What an awesome finish. What a season.
And the champion in DPI is Acura Team Penske. Dane Cameron won. Pablo Montoya. Matt McMurray clinching this championship. Earl Bamber, Lawrence Vantor win for the factory Porsche 912 team.
Mario Farbach and Trent Hinman, they've already tied up that team championship for Michelin Racing.
Was there enough going on for you? Incredible.
Man, the Petit Le Mans never disappoints.
Petit Le Mans and the 2019 IMSA season are finished. A fantastic 50th year of IMSA sports car racing has concluded, and it's time to focus on 2020 and the new season of racing. Thanks for watching all season long. We can't wait to see you in Daytona next year on IMSA, the road to racing.